Hello and welcome to What a Ghoul Wants. My name is Anna, I am your ghoul, and what I want is to talk about the new folk horror documentary titled Woodlands, Darkanddaysbewitched. Bewitched. So today is going to be an unboxing, or I guess unbagging, unbubble mailering of the Severin Blu-ray of the new documentary Woodlands, Darkanddaysbewitched. Bewitched. So this film was released this year. I think it has been in the making for a while now, for a couple years I want to say, and it's directed by Kayla Janice, who is the author of one of my favorite nonfiction books about horror, which I actually happen to have right here. And it's called House of Psychotic Women. And the subtitle is An Autobiographical Topography of Female Neuroses in Horror and Exploitation Films. This book is so good, I cannot recommend it enough. And so when I heard that Kayla was directing a folk horror documentary, I was like, I absolutely have to see that because I love her work and I'm super interested in folk horror too. So this is a movie that I just knew I had to see and to own. I do realize that they just released it on streaming pretty recently, but I did pre-order this Blu-ray in August because I just had to have my hands on it. And I think it's a film I'm definitely going to be glad that I own. And the film is produced by Severin. That is who I ordered the Blu-ray from. And for those who don't know, they're a film production company who focuses on cult films, and they do a lot of restoration and releasing in 4K or Blu-rays of these older cult films. And I've never bought from them before. I actually, for those who watched my video on my horror movie DVD collection, you'll know that I said that I just recently got a Blu-ray player. So I have been unable to play Blu-rays in my home up until now. And a big impetus for that was I really needed to update my old DVD player. It was so old. But also I did just want to watch this movie. So I finally got a Blu-ray player. And the movie came a couple days ago. I've been waiting to open it because I wanted to do it on camera to show you all. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and open my package. All right. Let's see if I can do this without scissors. I don't think it's going to happen, but yep, going to have to use scissors for this one. I'm so excited to see it. Ooh. All right. So it comes in plastic wrap. And I'll go ahead and take that off so we don't get as much glare. The struggle is real. All right, finally got the plastic off. So here is what it looks like. I really love the art on the cover. I know there are some animations in the film, so I don't know if it's the same person or if it's a different artist, but yeah, we've got pretty simplistic black with green and white. And I really love the images on here. We've got, I know this little guy here is a reference to Blood on Satan's Claw, and I'm not sure about the other images. Oh, of course, we've got a little wicker man up here. I think this might be Black Phillip, and I think that this is from a field in England. I'm not 100% sure, but that's really cool. I love seeing images from the films on the cover, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up. It's got a lovely dark green and black disc with those roots on there. Very happy with the look. It looks really cool. And it looks like the special features include a video introduction by Kayla Janice, animating folk horror, a conversation with Ashley Thorpe, who I believe is the artist who does the animations in the film, and a couple of outtakes, what is folk horror, harvest hymns, the sounds and signals of folk horror, Terra Assombrada, expressions of folk horror in Brazil. That sounds super interesting. And then folk poetry. So those sound like pretty interesting special features. I'll definitely have to check those out. And I could just go ahead and read the synopsis for y'all. It's been hailed as stunning, brilliant, and mind-blowingly epic, and stands as perhaps the definitive genre documentary of our time. From writer, director, producer Kayla Janice comes a seductive megatext through the history of folk horror, featuring clips from over 200 films and interviews with more than 50 filmmakers, authors and scholars that explore the rural roots, occult creeds, and cultural lore that continue to shape international cinema. Severin Films presents this astounding achievement, also featuring an original score by Jim Williams, animation by Ashley Thorpe, and collage sequences by Guy Madden that Rumorg calls an unprecedented journey into where folk horror has been, where it's going, and ultimately what it says about humanity. So that's the overview, and I really don't have anything else to say about it right now because I have not seen it. There is a podcast episode on the Severin podcast where they interview Kayla about the whole process, and they discuss some of the films that are featured that they released on separate DVDs. I know that they restored some of the films that she discusses in the documentary and sold them separately so that people could own some of the movies that are talked about in the documentary on Blu-ray after they've been restored and everything. So if you want to hear more in detail about that, check out that podcast episode. So yeah, I'm going to watch this. It's over 3 hours long plus the special features, so it's going to take me a while to watch it. So I probably will look different when I come back. This will probably be tomorrow that I film my reaction to the documentary. So I'll be right back with my thoughts. And I'm back. I just got done watching Woodlands, Darkanddaysbewitched, and oh my gosh, y'all, it was so good. I am living my Angel Blake, Danny Ardor fantasy right now. And I gotta say, I really loved the film. It was so well done. Please don't be scared off by the runtime. I think it's definitely a movie that it's worth setting aside the time to watch the whole thing. I did have to split it up into 2 days. I watched half of it yesterday and finished the other half today and watched the special features. And I gotta say, it lived up to my expectations. Absolutely brilliantly done, beautifully edited and put together. In her introduction on the special features, Kayla goes into the making of, and she talks about how she was just going to do a special feature on Severin's release of Blood on Satan's Claw, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. It's definitely going to be up there in my favorite horror documentaries of all time. Just beautifully composed and edited. It had so many knowledgeable people from all kinds of different backgrounds talking about the different kinds of representations of folk horror in film. The animations by Ashley Thorpe were gorgeous. The special feature of him talking about the process of making the animations for the film was so interesting, and how they're modeled after the animations and title sequences from 70s British television and movies that were focused on folk horror, kind of like paper cutout style, rustic looking, very, very beautiful. So I was super impressed by that. And just the whole structure of the film, it wasn't just going from film to film to film. It was kind of arranged by theme or region and then discussed films within those categories. So the first chapter was on the Unholy Trinity, which is kind of like the big three of folk horror. And that's Blood on Satan's Claw, Witchfinder General, and The Wicker Man. So they start there and they talk about those three core films, and then the next section kind of branches out. So chapter 2 is Who Is This Who Is Coming? Signposts of British Folk Horror. So that goes into more of the lesser known British folk horror films. Chapter 3 is We Don't Go Back, Paganism and Witchcraft. And that's exactly what it sounds like. They just discuss the themes of paganism and witchcraft in folk horror. Chapter 4 is Call Me From the Valley, which touches on American folk horror. And that really goes into a lot of indigenous culture and indigenous folk horror as well. Chapter 5 is All the Haunts Be Ours, folk horror around the world. And the last chapter is Folk Horror Revival. And that talks about newer films that are being made that could fit under the folk horror umbrella. So that's just a general breakdown of the way the film is structured. And I was just really thrilled to see that they focused on so many different regions and so many different countries when discussing films that could be considered folk horror. So we got to see them talk about movies from, of course, the UK, but also Australia, Russia, the Czech Republic, Brazil, Japan, Korea, just so many films and filmmakers that I would not have heard of otherwise. I think I added like 50 films to my Letterboxd watch list, and that's probably being conservative. And I'm sure that someone has made a list of all of the films mentioned in Woodlands, Darkanddaysbewitched that you can find on Letterboxd, or you can probably just do a Google search and it'll come up with every film that they mentioned. Plus, I added some books to my reading list because you see interviews with a lot of different authors that have written books about folk horror. So yeah, I was just so blown away by the depth in which they went and the research done and all of the different kinds of folk horror, just so much variety and so many interesting stories that if you just look on the surface at the kind of classic British folk horror, you miss out on all of the folk horror in all these different places. So I'm so glad that they touched on so many different cultures and races and ethnicities and backgrounds. Yeah, overall, I was so impressed by Woodlands, Dark and Days Bewitched. It really, truly lived up to all the expectations that I had of it, and I had heard nothing but good things, and it's just really lived up to all of the praise and the hype that I've heard surrounding it. And the quality of the footage used was stunning. Severin really did an amazing job with restoring some of the footage. So it really looks great on screen. I would love to see more documentaries like this for different subgenres of horror. I think it's so interesting to get this super deep dive into these films and hear from so many knowledgeable people from so many different walks of life about this one specific genre. And it's honestly pretty magical. I love that we're getting a folk horror revival, and I do hope that we still continue to get new folk horror movies, like Midsommar, like The Witch. I think that there are always ways in which we can relate current issues to folklore and tie it into horror, so I can't wait to see what we get as far as folk horror in the future. So overall thoughts, I give this film 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was so well done, just wonderful and engaging, and I think it really filled a hole that we needed in the horror documentary realm. This is something that really hasn't been talked about as comprehensively as what Kayla did with Woodlands, Dark and Days Bewitched, so I am so glad that this film exists. Really, I cannot recommend it enough. Please go watch it if you have a chance. I believe it's streaming. I think you can rent it, I want to say for like $2 on Amazon Prime and YouTube and some other places as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this review. I've never done an unboxing on my channel before, so that was super fun. Let me know if you'd like me to do more of those, if you want me to do an unboxing and then watch the film, come back and do my review. And let me know if you want me to dress up more like this in my videos. This was really fun. I kind of just threw it together last minute. So please let me know if you like this kind of content. And you can do that by liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. All of my socials are linked down below if you want to go follow my Letterboxd or my Instagram or anything like that. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Blessed be. And we'll talk horror next time.